It was a quiet, golden afternoon when Mira arrived at her grandmother's old house in the hills. The air smelled like warm bread and wildflowers, and the wooden floor creaked gently beneath her shoes. "Go explore the attic if you want," Grandma said with a smile, handing Mira a plate of strawberry cookies. "There are treasures up there older than I am." With curiosity sparkling in her eyes, Mira climbed the narrow staircase that led to the attic. Dust danced in the sunlight, and every step up felt like walking deeper into a memory. The attic was a forest of forgotten things: trunks, books, lamps, and paintings stacked high like mountains. Mira tiptoed between them, brushing her fingers along old toys and velvet curtains faded by time. And then, she saw it. Tucked between a rocking chair and a broken mirror, stood a wooden horse. It was small, just her size. Its body was painted with faded swirls of blue and silver, and its eyes, though carved from wood, looked like they were hiding a secret. Mira approached slowly. She placed her hand on its back. The wood felt strangely warm. "This wasn't here last summer," she whispered. Then something odd happened. A faint breeze stirred her hair, inside the attic. The windows were shut tight, yet Mira heard the soft sound of wind chimes, like distant music playing only for her. She glanced back at the horse. Its wings, yes, it had wooden wings folded tightly at its sides, seemed to twitch. Her heart raced. She leaned in closer. "I wonder, can you fly?" Of course, there was no answer. Not yet. But that night, when the moon rose high and the stars whispered to the wind, Mira would discover that some toys are not forgotten, just sleeping. That night, Mira couldn't sleep. The image of the wooden horse stayed in her mind like a dream she couldn't wake from. Its carved eyes, the folded wings, the strange warmth of its body. She turned on her side and stared at the ceiling. The house was quiet, except for the sound of wind brushing against the windows like a lullaby. Then, she heard something else. A whisper. Very soft. Like a breeze that knew her name. Mira. She sat up in bed. Was Grandma calling? She listened again. Silence. Then she heard it once more. Not from downstairs, but from above. From the attic. Clutching her blanket, Mira tiptoed out of bed. The wooden floor groaned beneath her feet as she climbed the narrow stairs once again. The attic door creaked open, and golden moonlight spilled across the room through the small round window. There, in the same place she had found it, stood the wooden horse. But something had changed. Its eyes shimmered faintly. Its wings moved. Just a little. Mira stepped closer. Her heart pounded, but not with fear. With wonder. She placed her hand gently on the horse's neck. "You're real, aren't you?" she whispered. The horse didn't speak, but Mira felt something stir inside her. A pull. A connection. And then she noticed something at the base of the rocking stand. A small silver key, tucked into the wood. She picked it up. It was shaped like a feather. At that moment, the attic filled with a soft, glowing light. The rocking horse twitched and lifted its front legs ever so slightly, as if waking from a long, long sleep. Mira knew something magical had begun, and she was ready to follow wherever it led. The next morning, Mira woke up with the silver feather key still clutched in her hand. She stared at it as sunlight spilled across her blanket. It hadn't been a dream. She got dressed quickly and ran to the attic, heart racing. The wooden horse stood exactly where it had the night before, but now its wings looked a little looser, as if waiting. "I found your key," Mira said softly, holding it up. She searched for a keyhole. Then she saw it, on the side of the wooden saddle, nearly hidden beneath a swirl of carved clouds. She gently inserted the feather key and turned. Click! The horse gave a tiny shudder. Its wings fluttered once, slowly, like waking from a deep sleep. Then, a small hatch opened on the side of the saddle. Inside was a map. But not just any map. It shimmered with soft, glowing lines and floating words. The paper didn't feel like paper at all. It felt like wind. At the top, written in silver letters, it read, "To the sky realm where forgotten dreams fly." Mira's eyes widened. "Sky realm," she whispered. The attic suddenly felt bigger, the air thinner. As she unrolled the map further, little lights blinked on it, stars, perhaps, and a path appeared, glowing in soft gold, leading upward from their very house, through clouds, past the moon. There was even a tiny drawing of a horse with wings, just like hers. Mira looked at the horse. Its eyes sparkled now. Its wings trembled, open just a little. "I think you want me to come with you," she said. The horse didn't speak, but Mira could feel it. The attic had become something else entirely. Not just a room. A starting point. A gate to a place that no grown-up remembered, but every child once believed in. Mira clutched the map to her chest. She wasn't afraid. She was ready. That evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Mira stood once again in the attic. This time, she wasn't alone. The wooden horse no longer looked like a toy. Its wings stretched wider than before, strong and smooth, as if carved from light itself. The silver feather key glowed gently in the saddle, and the magical map floated in the air beside it, spinning slowly. Mira placed her hand on the horse's back. The rocking base shimmered and disappeared. In its place were 4 sturdy legs, and a tiny gust of wind curling beneath its hooves. Mira stepped up, heart pounding. She climbed onto the horse's back. It felt natural. Like she was always meant to do this. As soon as she settled in, the attic window opened on its own with a soft click. Curtains fluttered like wings. A breeze swept through, carrying the scent of stars. The map hovered in front of them, glowing softly, then dissolved into golden mist, surrounding the horse like a trail of light. Then, without a sound, the horse leapt forward and flew. Out the window. Up into the evening sky. Mira gasped as the house vanished below. The trees looked like little buttons. The hills rolled like green waves beneath them. Above her, stars blinked into place one by one. Clouds parted gently, as if bowing to let them through. The horse soared higher, steady and calm, following the golden trail through the twilight. Mira clung tightly, not out of fear, but joy. She was flying. She was really flying. They passed a flock of glowing birds, who chirped and twirled around them like living lanterns. They flew through a rainbow cloud that tickled her face with tiny sparkles. And far ahead, she saw something incredible, a floating island of glowing trees and waterfalls suspended in the sky. Mira whispered, "Is that the sky realm?" The horse neighed softly, as if saying, "Almost." The journey had only just begun. The stars grew brighter as Mira and the horse soared higher. They followed the golden trail through clouds that glowed like soft lanterns. The wind was gentle, and Mira's heart beat with excitement and curiosity. Then, the sky began to change. Ahead of them, a thick silver mist rolled in, swirling and shimmering like moonlight made of smoke. It moved slowly, almost alive. The horse slowed down. Mira leaned forward. "What is that?" From the mist, a shape appeared, tall, wide, and glowing faintly blue. It was a gate. A gate floating in the sky, made of pure mist and light. In the center, there was a symbol, a feather, just like Mira's key. As they approached, the gate shimmered and a voice, not loud, but deep and kind, echoed through the air. "Only those who carry forgotten dreams may enter." Mira held the memory of the attic in her heart, the dusty light, the key, the map, the feeling of believing in something magical. The horse neighed once, as if to say, "We're ready." The gate opened. Mira and the horse passed through the curtain of mist, and everything went quiet. For a moment, it felt like flying through a cloud made of music. Then the mist cleared. Before them was a place unlike anything Mira had ever seen. Floating islands hung in the sky like stepping stones. Rivers of light flowed between them. Giant flowers bloomed mid-air, and bridges sparkled with colors that shifted gently as they moved. And above it all was a castle made of clouds and starlight. Mira's eyes filled with tears. "This is the sky realm." The horse began to glide downward, following the light path toward the castle. In that moment, Mira knew. She had crossed into a world where dreams were not forgotten, only waiting to be remembered. And she was part of it now. The horse landed gently on a floating island, its wings folding with grace. Mira stepped down, her shoes touching soft grass that shimmered like morning dew. The island was filled with light, not bright, but glowing softly from within the trees, the flowers, even the stones. Ahead was a sign, written in silver script. "Welcome to the Garden of Floating Wishes." As Mira walked, glowing petals swirled around her. Every flower had a tiny lantern in its center. Some floated gently above the ground, others hummed like quiet lullabies. Then she saw them. Tiny, glowing wishes. They looked like bubbles, each holding a memory or a dream. One showed a child laughing under the stars. Another, a painting unfinished. A third held a picture of a wooden horse, just like hers. "These are dreams people forgot," Mira whispered. The horse nodded slowly, its eyes gentle. Then, from behind a glowing tree, a figure appeared. It was a woman, tall, graceful, with wings made of mist and starlight. Her voice echoed like the wind through wind chimes. "You are a keeper," she said. Mira blinked. "Me? Yes." You remembered what others forgot. You listened to wonder. You followed the whisper. And now, the sky realm remembers you too. The woman waved her hand. A glowing flower floated into Mira's palm. "Plant this in the heart of the realm," she said. "It will open the path to the final light." Mira looked at the flower. It glowed with all the colors of a sunrise. She placed it carefully in her satchel and looked to the sky. The castle was waiting. She climbed back onto the horse's back, heart full of quiet courage. As they rose again into the air, Mira glanced down. The garden of wishes sparkled beneath her, like a field of stars. The castle shimmered like a dream. As Mira and the horse glided closer, towers of mist and bridges of moonlight came into view. The walls weren't made of stone, but of soft clouds, glowing faintly with stars trapped inside. They landed gently at the edge of the castle courtyard. The ground beneath them was like walking on quiet thunder, soft, but full of power. The gate opened by itself. Inside, there was no throne, no king, no queen. Only a grand hall filled with light that shifted like water, and echoes that didn't feel like sound, but memory. Mira walked forward, holding the glowing flower tightly. In the center of the hall stood a small pool of still light. Floating above it, a single star pulsed slowly, like a sleeping heart. The voice returned. "Plant the flower." Mira knelt by the light and gently placed the flower into the pool. The moment it touched the surface, a wave of golden light spread through the entire castle. The clouds brightened. The stars twinkled. And the castle sang. It wasn't a song with words. It was a feeling, like every forgotten dream in the world had just taken a deep breath. The flower rose, blooming larger and brighter, and from its petals flew hundreds of tiny sparks, each one a wish, a memory, a story. They scattered into the sky like fireflies. Mira stood in silence. Then the voice whispered one final time. "You have awakened the realm, and it remembers you now." The horse stepped beside her. Its wings were no longer wood. They shimmered like real feathers now, light as stardust. Mira looked at the sky. It was time to go home. But not before one last journey. The castle slowly faded behind her as Mira and the horse rose once more into the sky. But something had changed. The clouds seemed brighter, the stars more awake, and the air, full of music she couldn't hear, but could feel in her chest. She looked down at the horse. Its wings now shimmered with real feathers, soft and white like snow touched by moonlight. Its wooden frame had smoothed into something almost alive, something between dream and truth. Mira didn't need the map anymore. The stars knew the way home. They soared silently through the sky, past the floating islands and rivers of light, through the gate of mist, and back across the path they once followed. But Mira didn't feel like she was leaving. She felt like she was bringing something back. The attic window came into view. The horse gently landed inside, where the golden dust still floated, and morning light began to stretch across the wooden floor. Mira climbed down slowly. Her shoes touched the ground, and it felt different. Familiar, but deeper, like she could hear the heartbeat of the world beneath her feet. The horse looked at her. She smiled, tears in her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered. The horse gave a soft neigh. Its wings folded. Then, slowly, it returned to its place beside the rocking chair. Still, silent, but glowing, just a little. Mira turned toward the stairs. Outside, birds were beginning to sing. A new day had begun. And somewhere deep inside her, she knew. The sky realm wasn't gone. It was waiting for the next child who dared to believe.